The fact is that the IDU problem in Tanzania is increasing. I'm going to focus, this is sub-Saharan Africa, but I'll just focus what is going on in Tanzania. So the heroin epidemic in Eastern Africa and in other parts of Africa is increasing, and that is thanks to a lot of heroin which is coming in from from the Asian countries to Africa. And the epidemic up to now is centered around males, but it is also increasing among females as well. And HIV risk is high among females IDUs and female partners of male IDUs. Higher receptive syringes, as we have heard what has been said already. Let's just go back to history a little bit. In 1980s, there was virtually no heroin in Africa. Maybe in the northern part of Africa, but in the eastern part of Africa, heroin was very limited. But following some changes of the controls, heroin started flowing through Africa to other parts of the world. And as that, and up to now, we now have a lot of people who are injecting heroin, who are using heroin, and we estimate that around 25,000 injecting drug users are in Tanzania at the moment. The number here is very minimal. We think that the number is quite high, probably around 50,000 injecting. Overall, HIV prevalence is around 6%, so that is quite high by all standards. But among females, around 6.6, which is higher than males, which is around 4.6. So you see that there's a higher HIV prevalence among females than it is among men. IDU use is often associated with cannabis use, and it is also they use also alcohol, but alcohol is not very common, just because mixing alcohol and heroin is a bit dangerous it can easily bring overdoses. So they are scared of using alcohol and heroin together. However, they use cannabis and heroin together as cocktail. They call it cocktail. So they either smoke it or smoke cannabis and heroin together. And from what was found in 2006, we haven't found it. There have not been follow-ups of the HIV prevalence among injecting drug users, but the rate in 2006 was 42. Compared to what we had in 2004 from the Msami's prevalence study, it was around 31. So in just 2 years, the rate had changed from 31 to 42. So that's it can show you that the prevalence is increasing, and probably now it is even higher. From the studies which were conducted in Tanzania, around from 2000 up to now, we find that the high rate of sex work among women users, this is around 78%, 77, 78% of those ones who were interviewed, they say they either trade sex for money. So that's that's a very high percentage. And also there is an emerging phenomenon which is called flash blood. This is drawing someone's blood, someone who has just used drugs, and then you draw blood and then you inject yourself. So this is around, among men, it's around 9%. That is in 2006. But then among females, it is around 17%. That is, you see, it is even higher among females than among males. On average, percentage of females is HIV prevalence is higher than among males. So you can just see that in 2004, 75 among females, while 23 among males. And in 2006, that is in Zanzibar, 31 among females, 12 among males. And in 2006, again, 58 among females and 27 among males. So you can just see that there's a significant, huge difference of HIV infection between female and males. We need to do something. So we have created a system, that means we are starting to create a system, an open system, so that we get a lot of these drug users to enter into the system. So we are creating outreach services sites for Dar es Salaam and Zanzibar, and also we intend to develop drop-in centers. Services, IC, HTC, condoms, screening for hepatitis, and so forth. But NSP is still a problem, so we are still negotiating how to move about. Also, we need to deal with structured drug treatment services. In here, we have taken an approach so that we have people who can access other treatment services and people who can access methadone services. We've started with methadone just because it is the only essential drug in Tanzania which has been listed. Buprenorphine will take some time, so we have decided not to start with it. We intend in at least 2 years to come to have at least 4 methadone centers. We have developed policy documents, standards which are here, and with the help of our friends and Mr. Douglas is here. So we also deal with relapse prevention. We are collaborating with NGOs and AN services and NGO and CBOs to take those ones who are on methadone and those ones who are receiving services so that they should also get relapse prevention services. We incorporate female clinicians, outreach workers, counselors, and educators so that we get more females. But also we need sensitivity to working hours because female work usually at night, so we want to deal with that as well. We also plan to collaborate with MCH services so that we should be providing services to women. And also include screening for gender-based violence and other gender issues into guidelines. Monitoring and evaluation, we intend to develop a system that we have developed what we call a M&E working group to develop a system so that we have a national system, a uniform national system, and we think that we should start with something, a web-based system. But we still have some problems. We have non-legal supporting services. Carrying syringes is still illegal. Also, there is a low understanding of the extent of the problem. There are negative forces within ourselves, within the system, to prevent this from happening. Also, there is also low education among females, that is, and the opportunities, and also gender inequalities and norms. In Tanzania, you see, in our culture, sometimes it's not easy for a female and a man to eat together, so you can find such things. But then, what we intend to do, with the help of Pangaea, is to expand these services to other parts of Africa and East Africa as well. Compiling evidence, to get evidence so that we know what works, what doesn't work, and also to mobilize communities so that we change the norms and the policies which are there. And we also target policymakers. So thank you very much for this. Thank you.